Welcome to Automation with Ansible. So let's continue. So what are the things that Ansible cannot do? As of now, we have understand what are the different features of Ansible and what we can do with the Ansible. This is what we have understand in the last few lectures. In this lecture, we'll understand what we cannot do with Ansible. What are the limitations of Ansible? We cannot perform the minimum installation of the system. OS installation we cannot perform with Ansible. For that you have to use Kickstart if it is Linux server. You can use Kickstart for the minimum installation of operating system, and after the installation of operating system there are a lot of things like post implementation tasks that you can perform with Ansible. Ansible can add packages to an installation, but it doesn't perform the initial minimum installation of the system. Every system can start with a minimum installation either by Kickstart or a base cloud starter image. Then you can use Ansible for further configuration. Although Ansible can remediate configuration drift, it doesn't monitor for it. You cannot do the monitoring of any servers with the help of Ansible. For that you need Nagios and all other tools, but Ansible is not for monitoring. Ansible doesn't track what changes are made to the files on the system, nor does it track what user or process made those changes. So we also need to understand Ansible doesn't track what changes are made to the files of the systems. So these are the limitations we have with the Ansible, or you can say these are the things we cannot perform with Ansible. Let's understand one figure, how the Ansible works. In simple word, Ansible, I have the Ansible server, you can see in the PPT, and this is my client. So the communication between the Ansible and the client, that should always with the help of SSH. Okay. So we need to understand that the SSH should be working between your Ansible server. In any environment, you should have one Ansible server and a lot of clients which you are going to manage from your Ansible server. So there should be a communication between your client machines to the Ansible server, and the communication would be established with the help of SSH. SSH should be enabled. If it is not enabled, then you have to talk to the respective firewall team to make it SSH port open. Okay. So like these are the things we can perform. Suppose we have to install some RPM package, some copy files, some plugins. We can use SSH, or we can simply write the playbooks that we will understand in the next lectures or in the later lectures, and all these things we can perform with the help of Ansible. We'll understand this figure later. This is not the right time to understand this picture, but we need to understand how the Ansible works. So friends, that's all for this lecture. In the next lecture we'll understand how to run remote commands using Ansible. So that's all for this lecture, and if you have time, please join with me in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.